Greetings, my friends, and welcome to Heroes of Kriegeland. In this episode today, we have our friends Joseph King, Bird the Dwarf, and Stovar Eisenhart, learning of their fate after the successful first round of the tournament of the Heroes of Kriegeland. So, as the sun goes down, you're all kind of standing amongst the crowd near the platform where the king had addressed you initially. The king once again steps forward and magically augmented voice speaks to the crowd at large and says, "Good people of Crestcall and Kriegeland at large, please retire for the evening as the second round of the tournament shall begin at first light." And where the king or the town leader or the father of the home would normally recite an ending to Mathandis Feast and the beginning of the New Year's toils at first light, Alroy II has adjusted to the occasion. "On this, the year of 5400, we declare Mathandis Feast not to end." And everyone's like, oh. He's like, "But to rise with us into the morrow." So, it's a fancy way of saying, let the party continue into tomorrow. And then Valerio, the wizard, fiddles his fingers about, and a spell that he cast on you guys originally, you can kind of feel it take effect in a way where the king now directly speaks into your guys' minds, and he just tells you to approach so that he can address the winners all directly before everyone retires for the evening. And you notice royal guards are now starting to push the regular crowds further and further away from the king's platform, but they're letting you guys pass by. There's only one other dwarf there, Stovar, when you're looking around. Right. Jody is not amongst the winners.
Didn't expect Jody to get through.
The only other dwarf is a guy that's either drinking a mug of ale or eating some sort of snack out of his pockets. So the king basically tells you guys that the kingdom is in good hands, and he's excited to see where you guys go. He says it would be wise to retire to Valerio's Tower, which is about a 1-mile trek up the hill outside of town. There are carriages and carts that can escort you there, or you could go yourself. But Valerio is going to host a resting area for you guys and a meal. Before you go off, he explains that one last thing is that Hector of the Light, who is a cleric of Mathandis that was a part, he lost his matchup, but is being restored to the tournament because a dark elf assassin type got disqualified for trying to kill his teammate. So the king says thank you all, and he retires. You notice that there's 18 of you winners all kind of standing together in a loose cluster. You all recognize your teammate that you had. But now you get to just choose if you're going to walk to Valerio's Tower, take a carriage, or go somewhere else.
Well, I guess I'm going to go up to the teammate that I had and
Nikessa.
Nikessa, yeah. And I'm going to ask her, are you planning on going up to Valerio's Tower? I was kind of thinking just getting a private room. You could join me if you wanted. Feels like it would be appropriate.
She's like, I don't, that doesn't sound appropriate to me, but yes, I was planning on going to the tower.
I just hate taking the counsel and calling it wisdom from someone whose balls haven't dropped.
She chuckles.
So, I just figured we split a room. We seem to work really well together, and we could each save on the money. I'm not going to do anything untoward.
She's like,
it goes against my religion. It was just a suggestion.
Well, I appreciate it, but I think I'm going to just get into this carriage. And she kind of shuffles off a little bit awkwardly and closes the carriage door. Solar?
Is Jody there at all?
No,
But
not
she's not in the winners part, so I'm
Yeah,
gonna
so
go
you-
back to the normal thing.
Oh, you want to go back to the crowds?
I guess so. Like, I don't know any of these guys, and my teammate was... he didn't do anything.
Hey, Tuck.
He didn't.
That's true.
He didn't. I carried him on my shoulders.
Hey, you took the fight. He's all like, listen here. No, I'm just kidding. Tuck's over there chatting it up with one of the other winners.
Nah.
You know, they're talking about maybe walking over or whatever. So
Okay.
you want to go find Jody though?
Yeah, and then I'll walk over to the tower, I guess.
Okay. Well, when you find Jody, she expresses her congratulations to you.
Thank you, Jody. But what happened?
Well, it was two extremely proficient combatants. It was the weird desert-dwelling duo. They're both wearing like turbans, and they seem to be hail from Andorok. The problem is she's like, I had the best plan. She's like, I used magic to get the passphrase from the hostage, and I was like, well on my way, but they just ambushed us. So, I guess I wasn't ready.
All right. Well, are you sticking around for the rest of the tournament? Or...
Oh yeah, sure. Why not? Probably something I can learn while I'm here. Good luck to you, Stovar.
Yeah. Thanks, Jody. Yeah, if you want to sponsor one of the champions, just send some armor or magic my way.
She's like, oh, okay. Well, as soon as I have some spare armor or magic to hand over, then sure, that sounds good.
All right.
All right, Bird.
All right, well, I guess I'm going to go with the theme and go see my partner. So, hey, really appreciate you. I really owe you one, man. I really need to get through that. Hey, listen, I would stay and, get some drinks, but, my old yeast, I gotta reinvent that yeast that was helping me get those real high alcohol content in my meat. That's gonna be a lot of work, so gotta stay sober for a little bit. Hey, you enjoy yourself, though. I'll pat him on the shoulder and walk out.
He's like, hey, I will, I'll drink one for you then. So most of them get into carriages and start heading up. You guys do notice as Stovar, as you're kind of getting back towards where the winners are branching off and heading up, you notice 3 of the winners are off talking to Valerio, and he's like discussing some stuff with them, and then he casts a spell, and the 4 of them all like teleport away.
Who do these people look like? Some teacher's pets over here.
Yeah. One of them looked like a sorcerer type, with like long platinum blonde hair. One of them was just looked like a guy in like regular peasant's clothing, and just like a human, like very little like descriptive wear or emblems or anything. It looks like just like a regular common man type thing. And then a guy in like red desert clothing and turbans and a bunch of studded leather and like knives on him and stuff.
Is that one of the turban guys?
No, one of the turban guys that beat Jody.
Oh. I gotta beat that guy.
Well, the teacher's pets teleport away and you notice. So.
I don't like that. They got favorites already.
That's true.
This thing is rigged against dwarves.
It might be. It just might be. All right. So the sturdy and fortified tower of Valerio Darkmoon looms in the early night sky, featureless stone without window nor door until you approach. A shimmering purple light sparkles amongst the stone bricks as a stout wooden door appears from beneath the illusion. The door opens to a burst of warm air, comforting firelight, and a wave of smells signifying a grand banquet. Within the first floor of the tower, an open dining hall rests. 6 round tables set with a feast and 3 chairs, each triangled evenly around the tables. At each place setting, a bejeweled decoration of fine silver holds a name tag.
What's the name tag say?
Well, you got it. There's 6 tables with 3 name tags at each one.
Okay.
You go in.
I'm gonna go switch some around.
Okay,
Well,
so as soon as you walk in through the doorway,
Yeah.
Stovar, you notice that a spell gets like cast on you, and it cleans you up like a mega prestidigitation self-cleaning, but it also like takes all your armor and like weapons and it puts them in a little storage cubby off to the side, and you can tell they're like cleaned and pressed and like oiled. So you're like, oh, and so you're just now in like, dwarven civilian clothes, but you're all cleaned up. And if you walk through the door, that happens to everyone that walks through, and you notice some of the other competitors coming through, and oh yeah. For those that are still outside of the tower, which is at least Bird, Joe, let me check in with Joe real quick. Did you actually go to the tower, or did you just go to a tavern or like an inn in town?
Well, I was planning on going to an inn, but my wife wouldn't want to join me, so I guess I gotta go to Valeria's tower and just keep an eye on her. It would be really inappropriate to be separated on our first night as a couple.
That's true. That's true. You gotta keep tabs on her. So the you guys notice just outside the tower as some of the people start filtering in, a little bit of a scuffle breaks out when two bigger like northern barbarian looking guys, and one of them has a wolf with him, and the other one turns around and he's like, "No dogs inside." And he's like, "Don't worry, he'll remain out here." And he's like, "I was talking about you." And he's like, "What did you say?" And then they start like getting into each other's faces as their rival northern barbarian tribes. Yeah. So they get into a little bit of a scuffle, but then end up some of the like clerics and stuff, the do-gooders come in and like break them up, usher them inside. You hear a voice call out magically as the rest of you usher your way into the tower, and it says, "Welcome to your first team meeting."
So the people at our tables. Well, was I able to like switch stuff?
When you tried, they just like magically restored themselves. Anti-prank magical defenses.
That's just stupid.
I'm going to cast Unseen Servant.
Okay.
And I'm gonna because I didn't see him try to switch them and then they get restored. I'm gonna have my Unseen Servant try and switch the nameplates around.
Okay. Same thing happens. They reset, but your Unseen Servant also gets like dispelled.
That's not fun because I had more things I was gonna do with it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Valerio doesn't like people fiddling with magic that he's not aware of.
What I am curious about is exactly how long the super prestidigitation took to remove over 50 years of filth.
Surprisingly fast, but you were kind of standing there like vibrating weirdly for like 3 seconds as it cleaned you off when everyone else was like instantaneous. So you were like stuck in a weird mystical time warp car wash.
I want to look around before sitting down at my table.
Some of the people have started to find their places and are sitting down.
I want to know based off of the name tags, like who the teacher's pets are.
Okay.
And then anyone with a turban.
Okay, yeah. There's no other turban people inside.
Yet.
I mean, as you can see, there are no turban people inside at all. There is one empty table as people start to fill in to their ranks. One table gets no one over there. It's the only one that doesn't have at least one person other than your table.
And probably. I don't see the teacher's pets.
And you don't see the teacher's pets.
What are the names?
The names are Braxton, Helios, and Connor.
Wow, they sound stuck out.
So there's people that so he's looking for people that have turbans that he knows are supposed to be there. Is that right? But they haven't.
He can explain to you, I'm sure, once he sits down at his table with you guys, because you now have to realize that.
Well, I guess I'll go sit down at my table and just see who I'm stuck sitting with.
And it's across the way, like all the way across is where Nakessa is sitting with her team, and she's partnered up with, let me find him real quick. So it's the guy that they talked about, Hector of the Light. There's a clean cut looking young cleric guy, and then there's another guy who's wearing kind of hardier like leather drapings, and he's got a 5 o'clock shadow, and he looks like he's always like an old Western action hero. And she is chatting it up with Hector of the Light and seems to be enjoying herself quite a bit as the drinks start to flow on their table.
That whore.
So, Stovar and Bird, you notice that the first person to sit down at a table with one of your names is a human who is completely without hair, wearing a fairly nondescript gray wizardy robes.
Okay.
Well, more cleric style.
That's true, like
There's
cleric,
actually
more like cleric vestments than they are like wizard's robes. Yeah.
Okay.
and there's a symbol on it that you're not familiar with. It's like a book with a sun and moon symbol on there.
Okay.
And you notice that the two names next to you, Joseph, are Bird and Stovar.
And did we like watch
Man, I'm
any
in
of
the
the
losers
other?
table.
No, I mean, you probably let's say you probably saw some before you went in, well, no, because I'm guessing that by the time that, like, you got into the engine and they got one set up, you were probably, so you didn't see anyone's matches. So a lot of people are, like, they're reminiscing and talking about their matches and stuff. Because not a lot of people saw many of them based on, the timing of it all, so.
Okay. I guess under my breath I'll be like, at least they didn't put all the dwarves on the same team try to screw us over.
I'll go and I'll sit down next to the bald guy.
Yeah.
Would that be a shortcoming?
What?
I don't know if you heard that, but
He must have.
I'll just grumble.
And then you notice that the only other card, it just says Bird, and you're like, Bird, huh? And then, sure enough, the very same dwarf that was the other dwarf.
Like, I'm not used to being this clean. When I sit down,
Oh,
the feathers still falling out of my.
I was gonna say
beard.
it cleaned a lot of your beard trinkets. It didn't know how to, like, discriminate which ones were, like, decorations and which ones were filth. So some of them are gone. Maybe even some of your sentimental ones.
It's fine. I'll get more bird feathers.
He has like little, like, pebbles and shiny rocks and, like, colored bird feathers all, like, woven and tied into his beard.
Okay. Ugh. They put the dwarves on the same team. They're gonna screw us. They're gonna knock us out of this tournament.
Yeah, well, that's not too important for me. Listen, neither of you would know how to kill a god, would you?
No.
By stop believing in it?
Well, you see, there's the worm man guy.
How are you this drunk before you've sat down?
Shh.
He's had a nice day buzz going all day.
Listen, he destroyed my forest, and I had a lot of good mead there, and he just, like, ruined all of it. So he's got some stuff to answer for.
That's not what we're doing here. I don't know what to tell you. It's a really weird thing to say to someone you just met.
Listen, man, I have got one goal, and that's getting my forest back.
Man, I'm on the freaking weird table.
and you glance over and you see Nikessa laughing it up with her team. Spears of jealousy stab inside you, even though you tricked this woman into marriage.
These games have there's no class. There's no class. There's no honoring the sanctity of vows. It doesn't matter.
That's a lot of words for someone who died of a good punch to the face.
Stovar nods.
Okay, so I guess we're on the same team. What do we know what we're doing tomorrow? Like what the next round is? They didn't say anything.
No announcements of what the official, like, event was.
All right.
Just that it's at first light.
Okay. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I want I want to win this thing, and I think I can do it. I'm a fighter. My name's Stovar. Not sure if you guys saw my round, but I kicked the heck out of this other fighter who challenged me.
Nope, didn't see it.
Wow, okay. Dang it.
Hey, the kingdom saw it, okay?
I guess.
We were kind of busy not dying.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, what do you guys do?
Well, I'm pretty good with nature. You know, spent a lot of time in the forest. I'm good with nature. You know, they call me Bird.
Okay.
I'm a cleric for the hidden god Occultatum.
Okay.
He is the god of hidden knowledge, and pretty much just treat me like a wizard. That's his domain's very arcane heavy.
Okay.
So I just kind of focused on learning
So-
and discovering things. I did not sign up for this. I just want you to know that, so I'm sorry. I kind of tried.
What?
I kind of said some not nice things about the prepubescent king that we have. Lord Balls Haven't Dropped kind of might have overheard and thrown me in the thing. I think they were trying to do it as like a funny punishment. But we won our first round, me and the missus. And yeah, now, so yeah, pretty much just treat me like you would a wizard who has the ear of a god.
Who put me with the weird guy?
All of you are the weird people so far.
Okay, so maybe, I mean, depending on what happens, the nature guy could scout stuff out or provide support, and then our cleric can just heal me, and we'll tear through whatever comes.
Put me down for maybe on the healing.
What? But you're you're a cleric, right?
Like I said, my god Occultatum is very arcane focused. So I can heal, but it requires a lot of like praying and channeling the divine directly. So it takes a while. So if we're in the
10
middle
minutes,
of a
give or
fight,
take, right?
so if we're in the middle of a fight, don't expect healing from me. Expect more either support or hurting the other people. I have to admit, I can't cast that many spells.
Okay. So a cleric.
So I might run out of steam pretty quick here.
Okay.
Well, I know some pretty good medicine now. It'll fix you up pretty good. I can't do it too much though. It's a lot of work.
Please don't say alcohol. Please don't say alcohol.
It's not alcohol.
Hey.
That's for drinking.
Speaking of, your mugs and your plates fill with basically whatever you guys want at this mystic table. So if you feel like having some mead, you need but conjure it into existence, and there it is. You notice there's a couple of the other winners, two that they're not at the same table now, but they seem to be chummy, and it's one of the northern barbarian types and a half orc, and they're like drinking a ton, and they're yelling about stuff, about combat prowess and the victories that they have and whatnot. So
Okay. Well.
All right. So, enlist cup of mead. Challenge accepted.
yeah,
I pick it up and I just try to conjure it as I'm drinking it.
All right. I'm going to need a Constitution saving throw.
Oh.
You do.
Alright.
It is against poison, so you do have advantage as a dwarf.
Yes, sir.
Let's see
Alright.
how much this dwarf drinks.
Natural 20.
Okay,
Is that
you're-
one? Oh, I can't read that one. Oh, that's a 12.
So he's
But natural 20.
he's a few tankards deep, but he seems like he's just holding up. So you're like, well, at least he walks the walk if he's
Okay.
going to talk the talk. So.
I guess I'm gonna try to encourage everybody else to drink so they perform poorly.
There you
tomorrow.
go. Are you gonna also drink and just hope you can handle it better, or are you gonna try to like not drink?
I'm gonna. Is there something like root beer?
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
I don't
you
know.
could get like you could do even water or
Yeah.
whatever else, yeah, cider or something.
I'll drink some, but
Do
Like
do
one thing.
You wanna,
cranberry
okay,
juice.
so you want to try
Yeah.
to like rouse up some more revelry, huh?
yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know what I can roll for that. Just like
Probably like a charisma, persuasion.
we could try it.
Are you going to tell us that that's your goal?
Yeah, I guess.
If you do it,
All right. Well, I mean, if everybody's competing tomorrow morning, the more people who have hangovers, the worse they'll do. So
Bird, stop drinking.
So yeah, dude, stop drinking so much, and let's just get other people to drink, or at least encourage them to do it too.
It's
Okay.
not as good as my homemade stuff, anyways.
so okay. I like this tipping the scales in our favor. Yeah, I can get behind this. What we'll do is we'll something like cranberry juice, something that has that look of like wine or spirits, you know.
Okay.
It has the look like we're drinking, but we're not getting drunk.
Okay.
Okay, so I would say let's do a, I guess persuasion or performance probably. You can have your quote unquote cleric do the role, and you guys can like aid. Kind of, it was your idea, Stovar, but I think he's got the charisma.
Okay.
What is everyone's
my-
charisma on this team here?
8.
I have an 8.
Okay, so the dwarves are classic, just stinking, rutting dwarves. Dwarven
Hold on.
stereotypes are very much real.
Guidance.
Ah,
Add a
there we
D4.
go. He's pitching in guidance.
And-
you can pitch an aid or whatever to
And
give
8
him
gives him advantage.
advantage. Yeah.
Yeah.
So take advantage and a D4 to hype up the drinking
Well,
party.
Well, here, let's do this real quick. I'm going to go ahead and perform ceremony, and we're going to do dedication. And for the next 24 hours, whenever someone makes, whenever the three of us make a saving throw, we can add a D4 to it.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So you
I
get
like that.
So it's kind of like a half version of bless.
Right.
Okay.
It has. There's a little bit more stuff that.
How
that
many people
ceremony
can you give it
do,
to,
but
or are you just doing it you three?
I'm just doing us three
Okay.
because you can only do one person at a time, so I have to cast it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Whatever.
So 30 minutes goes by of him chanting and singing
well,
and
just
doing
do it to
lighting
just
incense.
do it just to yourself, and then let's do this, and you can get us later in the evening.
All right. But yeah, I'm thinking we're gonna go with a performance check on this, because I'm thinking what I'll do is Joe is going to act drunk
Yeah.
and try and encourage people to drunk. So it's half persuasion, half performance, but I think this is leaning more towards the performance, especially with like the fake alcohol that I'm doing. All right.
I'll roll an overall total resistance factor for the team.
Ooh.
Or
Okay.
just-
19 on performance, but that's just a D20 plus my performance. What happens when they aid?
Oh, you get advantage and you get the D4 as well because of guidance.
We get guidance and
Ah,
a ceremony, so he gets 2.
The ceremony was for saving throws, not for,
Yeah.
Okay.
not for skill check.
Gotcha.
But he still gets one for
Okay.
guidance.
So total, I got 21. On
Okay.
that.
Very, very good. Ooh, and their resistance was pretty low, so
They got suckered into it.
much revelry spills into the evening, and many of them get pretty tipsy. One such multi-chugger, as we'll call her, is your wife, Nekessa.
Oh,
And she
I
comes
just
over to
love her
tell,
attention
she
to
comes
this.
over to wish you good luck on the morrow's contest, as everyone's kind of like everyone's kind of swapping stories and names now, and like there's actually quite a bit of like cheeriness going on amongst everyone. So even
Good.
though the
I
plan
like
was
that.
even though the plan was a bit of a scheme, it actually ended up like kind of bringing the groups together. Well, everyone except for the teachers' pets, that is. They do
Oh,
not
the
show
teacher's
up the
pet.
whole night through. And as the morning breaks, the blue-gray light approaches you. You're greeted by a sudden blare of trumpets as you wake up the next morning, and an approaching thunder of the king's caravan. The king and the arcane engine have come to Belario's tower. Belario walks down the stairway with the missing trio in tow, and everyone walks outside into the morning glow of dawn. Belario climbs the wooden stage and calls out a series of arcane script as a pinkish fiery portal swirls into existence before you. The arcane engine hums to life. The king speaks out. The sages are ready! The whole kingdom watches! Belario's first law of heroism was the winning edge! But the laws of nature are cruel, and Kriegeland will need those that can endure even in the face of certain death. And so, the safety measures shall be removed from this contest, and you will face ever-strengthening waves of monsters until your last of your trio falls. We have the best clerics in the land ready to bring you back once it's done, but you are expected to keep your team alive until it is over. You will lose, brave heroes. Courage is the second law of heroism. The four teams that kill the most monsters shall move on in the tournament.
And there are 6 teams?
There are 6 teams,
All right.
so you have to do at least better than 2
Okay.
to move on. And they call for the first team to go in, and it happens to be you 3. You guys have all full rested, and none of you have any hangover effects or anything. You do still have the D4 extra for saving throws. Anything you want to prep or anything before you walk in, then that's what you do now.
I'm not really quite sure
Don't
what
think
the
so right
whole
now.
point of this is when Belario's already got his favorites.
And I'll step in.
Who are you saying that to?
Everyone.
Everyone? You give them a side eye
Yeah.
to the other trio?
Yeah.
Well, I guess this is what it takes. I'll walk in.
Joseph?
I just want to say that I did not want to do this from the beginning.
Slinks his head down, walks in. Okay. And so, the next round of the Heroes of the Kriegeland tournament shall commence next time.